Welcome to the Computer Made Simple. Today I will be talking about airflow and how to keep your case clean. A computer is a machine powered by electricity, and like any machine powered by electricity, it produces heat. The traditional way to make sure that heat stays within acceptable ranges is to use fans and heatsinks. Cool or room temperature air will help cool the computer a lot more easily. A proper airflow, which is the amount of air flowing through the case, is important. You want as much fresh air to reach the most important part of your system, which is usually the CPU. For the power supply, understand that it has its own little microsystem. Newer cases with bottom-mounted power supplies like this usually have an opening for the fan to face downwards. Cool air is sucked in, cools the components, and is being pushed out the back without affecting the rest of the system. In this case, the power supply has to draw warm air from the system to cool itself. But since this system is not being very taxed, and it is a good quality power supply, there are no issues. Ideally, you would have as many fans sucking cool air inside as you have fans pushing hot air outside of your case. If you have more fans pushing air out, which is usually the case with pre-built systems, you have what is called negative pressure inside your case. Since you are actively pushing air out, air will passively try to enter the case. In this system, air is being passively sucked in through the front to reach the components that need cooling. The negative aspect means that dust will also get sucked in. If, on the contrary, you have more fans sucking air in, you have what is called positive pressure inside the case. Air is being sucked in actively and being pushed out passively. That way, dust has a tendency to be pushed out with the air, but it doesn't mean it will be dust-free, as dust will still be blown in by the fans. You always want to have the easiest flow for the air, nothing blocking it and nothing restricting it. Some people spend a lot of time to manage their cables inside the case, unlike this system, so it looks good, but more importantly, it doesn't affect the airflow. A good airflow will greatly help the cooling. To help the airflow, make sure your computer case can breathe. Do not put it close to a wall or in a tightly enclosed area. A proper airflow will improve the life of your fans, making them work less hard and give you the best chances to keep your system running for as long as possible. Now, why is it important to keep your case clean? Most systems, like mentioned earlier, have a negative pressure. Air is trying to find its way in. It's easy to notice at the front and the top of the computer where there are openings, it will have an accumulation of dust. Dust can also penetrate inside a fan and greatly reduce its lifetime. It is a good idea to clean or vacuum those areas to make sure air can circulate with as little resistance as possible. It is a good idea to clean your case at least once a year. One of the best ways to do so is to buy a can of compressed air and bring the computer outside on a nice day and simply blow the dust from the case. Make sure the nozzle of the can stays a couple inches away from the components so you do not damage them, and do not make fans spin more than is necessary, otherwise you could shorten their lifetime. It is also a good idea not to rest your computer case directly on the carpet. Put it on the desk or on an object to make sure it's not resting on the carpet, where a lot of dust tends to come from, especially if the power supply is sucking air from under your case. Make sure your computer has proper airflow and stays clean, and it will improve your chances of keeping your computer for a long time. Thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe for more educational videos.